All right, I have to criticize this essay from Theodor Adorno. The essay is entitled Minima Moralia, Reflections from a Damaged Life from 1947. Here's the excerpt. Children, however, are not so much as have a thought, subject to illusions of captivating variety, as still aware, and their spontaneous perception or the contradiction between phenomenon and fungibility that the reigned adult no longer sees, and they shun it. Play is their defense. The unerring child is stuck by the quote-unquote peculiarity of the equivalent form. Use value becomes a form of manifestation, the phenomenal form of its opposite value. In his purposeless activity, the child, by a subterfuge, sides with use value against exchange value. Just because he deprives the things with which he plays of their mediated usefulness, he seeks to rescue in them what is benign toward men, and not what subserves the exchange relation that equally deforms men and things. The little trucks travel nowhere, and the tiny barrels on them are empty. Yet they remain true to their destiny by not participating in the process of abstraction that levels down that destiny, but instead abides as allegories of which they are specifically for. Scattered, it is true, but not ensnared. They wait to see whether society will finally remove the social stigma on them, whether the vital process between men and things, praxis, will cease to be practical. The unreality of games gives notice that reality is not yet real. Unconsciously, they rehearse the right life. The relation of child to animals depends entirely on the fact that utopia goes disguised in the creatures, whom Marx even begrudged their surplus value they contribute as workers. In existing without any purpose recognizable to men, animals hold out, as if for expression, their old names, utterly impossible to exchange. That this makes them so beloved of children, their contemplation so blissful. Alright, so here's where I have to critique this. So one thing that stands out to me, I'm a school teacher, and I have students that would rather play on their iPads or joke around with their friends or do anything other than the lesson. And the lesson is designed for them to understand the concepts of world history better, to improve their reading comprehension, to improve their literacy skills. And those literacy skills can aid them in various professions moving forward, whether it's blue collar, whether it's white collar, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's just helping their own children with those skills when they raise their kids. But that being said, I disagree with Adorno because in order even to be able to read Adorno's work, you need to develop and cultivate basic reading skills. And the cultivation of those basic reading skills requires labor. Remember, the Latin word, Latin term for labor, labore, means toil in Latin. And basically the work involved in learning to read is burdensome toil. But if you're willing to make that sacrifice, it gives you the foundation with which to read and to comprehend the written word. And so he may idealize play, or he may consider play to be a way to subvert the powers that be in your society, but you will not effectively be able to subvert the rulers in your society if you are illiterate. You need the labor of learning phonics and the fundamentals of reading, and once you get that under your belt, you can then be a revolutionary, you can then be a social critic, you can then criticize the society in which you live. So I think Adorno's fetishization of play is foolhardy, and it deprives the working class, or it deprives individuals of the foundation from which to be empowered, and the foundation from which to criticize their society, and the foundation from which to increase their social mobility.